What would you say, or how would you say leadership and leadership styles changed during the pandemic? What did you see?
We dove into that one explicitly. There were 4 things, at least, that we saw in talking or heard as we talked to the CEOs. One is this notion of thinking 10 times bolder, right? And so we've witnessed now that companies and whole ecosystems can pivot on a dime. Now, they did it out of necessity. But now that we know we can take our 5-year digitization plan and accomplish it in 3 months because we had to, where else do we want to have that kind of urgency, right? And I think the more interesting question on that is what enabled us to move so quickly, other than just the pure adrenaline of the moment? And would we want to apply that to other things, right? There was rapid decision making. We skipped levels, right? We didn't wait for things to go through 7 levels of approval. So that's one, boldness. The second is the multi-stakeholder view. So just a whole recognition that gone are the days that we're only solving for shareholder, right? It just became very clear the knock-on effects of decisions on their employees, on the communities they operate in broadly. We've got to factor it in. The third one is really about, the CEOs expressed it as their to-be list as being as important as their to-do list. I think we all became very aware of how we showed up as leaders and how important that was. There was a humanity to seeing inside people's homes and being able to be accessible in a way that was actually quite refreshing. Not everything was polished and pre-recorded. I think people liked that, right? And so how do we want to be more human going forward, and what does that look like? And then the last one was a little bit surprising, but it's more the importance of peer networks outside of the company. And so, there'd always been CEO forums and roundtables and business roundtable, all of that. During the pandemic, leaders showed up to those and they really engaged. And I think part of it, they realized that the crisis they were facing was one that no one had ever navigated before. And they needed to problem solve real time with their peers on how they were going to get through it. You think about, climate change and some of the other crises and things coming up. These are big, complex problems. And I think there's a recognition that no one person sitting on their own in their office can figure it out, and that we need to all put our heads together.